You know, it breaks me up when someone has a donut and coffee for breakfast and a hamburger and fries for lunch and a pizza for supper, and then they ask me where I get my nutrition. I think most vegans are more concerned and probably healthier from a nutritional standpoint than most non-vegans. Of course, we have a few vegans that will eat potato chips and Cokes and call themselves a vegan, which technically maybe they are. But most of us aren't that way. Most of us are pretty concerned. And one of our problems is the experts don't agree with each other. The experts are totally in disagreement with each other, and it makes a layman like me, it makes it difficult for us to know exactly what to do. So I've tried to find a middle ground on a lot of these issues. Of course, the big one, the one that always comes up, is B12. A vegan does not have any natural source of B12. We don't have it in our diet because B12 is made by a bacteria that's on meat and dairy and poultry. And so we don't have that source. And a lot of the do-gooders want to say, aha, well, then it's not a natural diet. Veganism, that proves it's not natural. Well, you know what? What's the most natural thing would be to go out and work in the soil and maybe half wash your hands and drink from a mountain stream or a creek or a river or a pond. And in that case, we would have beaucoup of B12. And so to me, that natural issue is just a joke because what could be more natural than drinking without putting chemicals in your water, which is our problem. We kill all of the bacteria that produces the B12 with chemicals in the water, and we Clorox and scrub everything, and we put, you know, hand soap with that kills all bacteria. So we kill our source of B12. So one group of experts say, you don't need B12. The bacteria in the body produce all the B12 that you need. And as a matter of fact, it's worse than that. If you take B12, you'll keep the bacteria in your body from making B12. I guess they'll get lazy. I'm not quite sure that I understand that one real well. But there are some people that we highly respect that take that position. There's another group of doctors, like Dr. McDougall, who I really respect, that says, play it safe. You know, you can store B12 for a long time. You can build up stores and it'll last you for a long time. But play it safe. Take a cheap, easily available supplement, and then you don't have to worry about it. And I follow that. You can also use nutritional yeast. Get the nutritional yeast with the B12, you can get that at your local co-op or health food store or that type thing. And then B12 is supplemented in soy milk and almond milk, and I drink a lot of almond milk. I probably get plenty of B12 just through my almond milk, but I choose to take a B12 sublingually so that I've got two ways of getting it into my body. One, I put the pill under my tongue, and the other is I drink the fortified almond milk. As we get older, absorption becomes more of a problem, and the truth is a lot of, especially older, but a lot of non-vegans are B12 deficient. So I choose not to be in that group, and I supplement. Another group of experts say do not eat salt. And then we have the ones that say, oh, salt's not a big problem, don't overdo it, but it's not a big problem. If you don't eat salt, you're probably not getting much iodine into your system. And granted, both B12 and iodine, our needs are very small, but if you don't have any, if you don't have a source for any, then it becomes a problem. Well, I choose to well, it's not really supplementing. I get kelp from Amazon. It's not very expensive. I cut a little piece of kelp off. I put it in my smoothie, which I'll have multiple smoothies every day. Just a little piece in the smoothie, and then my iodine is taken care of. So I supplement for B12. I use a kelp in my smoothie for iodine. Another thing is calcium. The experts don't agree. Some experts say, oh, you have got to have milk and dairy in order to get your calcium, or else you're going to be breaking bones or break your pelvis. That's the big thing. Break your hip. Another group says, oh no, If you have dairy, it will leach calcium from your bones and your teeth. Well, I tend to agree with the second group, and I don't have dairy. I wouldn't consider it anyway since it's an animal product, animal source. But without the dairy, where do I get my calcium? Again, my almond milk is fortified with calcium, and I think 8 ounces gives me 50% of my daily need. Well, I probably drink 24 ounces during the course of a day. And I'm getting B12. I'm also getting my calcium, and then I eat a ton. I eat bushel baskets full of greens, and most greens have pretty good calcium. Some of them, the absorption is a bit of a problem if you're eating them raw, and that's a whole nother issue. I don't go totally raw because I love sweet potatoes, and so, you know, I don't really think I want to be totally raw, but I am largely raw. I eat all the raw food that I can. And to me, that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is staying away from animal products. And then another thing is iodine. Oh, I mentioned iodine. Another thing is zinc. Zinc can be a problem for a vegan. You do need, to me, it's just a matter of being aware and then make sure I get every day enough foods that are a source of zinc. You know, that takes care of that. And again, you don't have a tremendous need, and it's easy to get through your vegetables and fruits, but just make sure that you're eating the right ones, and that's a matter of what do you like, you know. So the last one that I'm really concerned about are the omega-3s. Most doctors agree that we do need omega-3s, and if we don't eat fish, and I don't want to take fish oil, so I choose flaxseed for myself. And I know it's got some fat in it, but it's really the only source of additional fat that I condone in my diet. I know I probably get a little bit of olive oil here and there, but I try not to. But I do have flax. I buy flaxseed from the local co-op, and then I grind it in a little coffee grinder. I think the coffee grinder cost me like $12 or $15 from Amazon, and I grind it daily so that it's nice and fresh. And a couple of teaspoons of flaxseed in my morning and evening, and as far as I'm concerned, that takes care of my omega-3s. I might eat 4 walnut halves during the course of a day, but again, it's got a lot of fat in it, so I try to avoid that. But with the omega-3s, we still have the expert controversy. Some experts say that flaxseed and walnuts are not a good source of omega-3. The body doesn't handle them in the same way as fish oil, and so they're not good sources. And other experts say those are perfectly fine sources. Another thing to consider on omega-3s is one of the important things, as I understand it, is the balance between omega-3s and omega-6s. If you have a huge amount of omega-6 in your diet, that is a huge amount of oils, vegetable oils, then you need a huge amount of omega-3s. But if you have less omega-6s, then you require less omega-3s. So the balance, I think it's 4 to 1 is the recommend, or less is the recommended ratio of omega-6s to omega-3s. So I try to keep my omega-6s very, very low, and then any omega-3 that my body absorbs, I think is a good thing. And I don't want to forget the sunshine vitamin. We all need to take some vitamin D, I believe, because I doubt if, well, maybe not everybody, but majority of us do. Majority of us do not get outside every day, you know, to get our sunshine. It would be better, and I do go out when the sun's shining brightly. I'll be outside for a few minutes soaking it up and try to get my vitamin D that way. But normally I do take a vitamin D supplement. Well, if you agree with what I've said, please let me know. And if you disagree, I'm always trying to learn. And if you can teach me something, I would be really appreciative. And I'll look forward to any comments on this. Give me a like if you can, and I will talk with you on the next video. Thank you.